Yeah, do you need me to drop pebbles or anything?
We might have to pull this circle in a little bit tighter here in a few minutes unless it fills up a little bit late. Good morning. As we begin our service, we acknowledge that this gathering is happening on the traditional lands of the Choctaw and the Chickasaw peoples. We recognize and respect these indigenous peoples, both past and present, as the traditional stewards of the lands and waters on which we gather. In that same spirit, we will respect, protect, and be good stewards of this land for as long as we move upon it. And now, if you will rise in body or spirit for our gathering hymn, number 128, For All That Is Our Life. And welcome to the Sunday service of the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Oxford. I am Reverend Sarah Osborne, your halftime minister. And as we wrap up this month's theme of nurturing gratitude, I want to honor and recognize the contributions of Indigenous peoples of this land. And so we begin today's service with a land acknowledgement as a way to begin the conversation and restoration of community between all our relations of this land. And we sit in a circle to honor the sacredness and the importance of each of us so that we may look upon each other as equals and with care. And I will be joining the circle in a little bit, but I got too much stuff to do up here right now. So it's temporary that I'm this space over here. And we are just days away from the complicated and complex American holiday of Thanksgiving. And so we also recognize the grief and the gratitude that is abundant this time of year for so many people. Today's service is entitled, It's Our Time, and it is both a serious and yet playful exploration of community, belonging, and a call towards hope. And so whether you are a longtime member or a first-time visitor, you are welcome here. You are invited to be present with an open mind, a loving heart, and willing hands to help. And in this congregation, we uphold our Unitarian Universalist values and principles. We come together today to acknowledge our interdependence, honor the spirit of generosity, and explore the possibilities of transformation. And so it is good to be together in this pluralistic community, this congregation that centers love in all we do. Now I will share a few brief announcements with you. Most are printed in your order of service insert, but I'd like to draw your attention to a few of the following. Today, we have our last in our series of Adult Owl at 2 p.m. with Afton and myself. You are all warmly welcome to attend. The topic today is sexuality and aging. Should be a good, robust conversation. 2 to 4 o'clock today. Also, we have our Christmas parade coming up. Michelle, do you have anything to say about that? I'll let you come up here and speak from the mic.
So the Christmas parade is December 1st, a week from tomorrow. A week from today, the afternoon of the 30th, we'll be decorating the float at the powerhouse. You need about a half dozen folks to help decorate. It would be nice to have about a half dozen folks to walk or ride. The float will have several seats, so you could ride from the very beginning, or you can walk and ride as you want. It goes from the Gertrude Ford Center around the square, around one side of the square, and ends up over by the Y and Chicory Market. This afternoon, right after the service, I would appreciate some help with getting some of the decorations done, which is simply wrapping some small flat, I can't sit on my toes that long. A small flat, some small flat pieces. They're gonna be little packages, and the theme is My True Love Gave It To Me. And the packages are gonna have tags that say things like peace and love and hope and compassion. And I'd also like a little input, so just maybe 15, 20 minutes right after the service to just look at design and provide a little extra input. So the weekly newsletter has Google form that you can sign to join us for either decorating or walking or both. But I hope that those who are thinking about it will go ahead and jump in. Thanks.
And I don't know if you want to disappear yet, Michelle, because the next thing I was going to mention is the auction party.
So on December 14th, we have our holiday auction for UUCO. This will coincide with the Love Feast and our December potluck. And a lot of people have already stepped up with items for silent auction, with events, lunches, dinners, classes. So again, if you have items you'd like to donate, if you have activities you'd like to host, There are forms to fill out online, or you can check in with me, but we've got a good amount of things already offered, and it looks like it's going to be another great auction.
Perfect.
So thanks for that too.
If you would like to help be a participant or reader or engage in the Love Feast service, please let me know after the service if I haven't already spoken to you about that. It's probably our most favorite service of the whole year with our holiday theming. And so for potluck, bring your favorite holiday dish to share so we can, sample a little bit of your love and culture. And then finally, if you are not a member of UUCO, but you're curious about what that means, or you're like, yeah, I think it's time, I've been coming long enough, please see me after the service so we can talk about it, because we would be delighted for you to make a commitment to this congregation. And finally, as a reminder, the slips for grief, gratitude, and growth are available from the greeter. And if you have a moment you'd like to share, please write them down and drop them into the collection basket when it goes around later in the service. And we will get to those. One other final thing. We are refining our hospitality team. So if you are on it and don't want to be, or you are not on it and want to be, please let me know after this service, or one of our board members, or Becky over there who is in charge of membership. Hi, Becky. That would be great. And now let us enter into a time of sacred celebration with these words by Matthew Johnson. For 5,000 years or more than 250 generations, human beings have been invoking spiritual power. My predecessors and yours have gathered together to make sense of their lives and their place in the cosmos. And they have spoken aloud and invited what they conceived as sacred and powerful to be with them. They called upon the spirits of air and earth, fire and water. They called the bear and the deer. They asked for the raven to protect them, and they pleaded for the heroes of old to slay the monsters of their fears. They sang songs they learned from their grandparents and moved in the appointed ways, or in ways that were new but felt like the right thing to do. And they imputed powers to these spirits and to the memories of those heroes. They called them gods, and they invoked Changing Woman, Nanishta, Kali, Elohim, Odin, Hecate, and 100 million others. Every group of people everywhere, they gathered to make sense of their lives and to make sense of their place in the cosmos. And they called these spirits to be present with them and to them. And so do we. And so do we. We gather this morning to make sense of ourselves and this universe in which we live as best as we are able. And we call ourselves to worship together, and we invoke the power and wonder of life itself, that to which all those spirits of animals and memories of heroes pointed the way. We invoke that power, which is, we know, always around, always with us, but which we sometimes forget about. We forget that we are part of the whole of creation. We forget that we are stardust. We forget that we are capable of miracles, first among them that we can love. We forget these things, so we invoke the power of existence so that we can remember, so we can lift our eyes and open our ears to the true and beautiful. For 5,000 years or more, we have done this. In many tongues, in many ways, we have done this. And so we continue that ancient tradition in our way and in our time. And so let us worship together. And here and now in our time and in this beloved community, we strengthen the bonds of belonging and celebration with gratitude, our hearts full of curiosity and wonder, by offering one another a gesture of holy hospitality. You are invited to share a moment with the folks around you, extend a hand in peace, offer a hug, or perhaps simply a word of welcome. And as a practice of consent, if you would prefer not to engage in this ritual, simply place a hand over your heart and folks will honor your choice. And now, if you would, please turn to the person to your left or your right and briefly greet your neighbor. And now, with hearts centered in love and hope, let us light the sacred symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith, our flaming chalice. Words. We light our chalice as a symbol of gratitude as we celebrate the abundance of our lives together. In this sanctuary, we harvest bushels of strength for one another and offer our crop with the hands of compassion and generosity. In the authentic and gentle manner of our connections, we cultivate a simple sweetness to brighten our spirits. May we be grateful for the ways we nourish and uplift each other, for it is in sharing of this hallowed time together that sustains us. Thank you, Deb. And now we have our community hymn. We're only going to sing verses 1, 3, and 4, skipping number 2. It's hymn number 6-7. I was so excited that this is a Thanksgiving hymn. T, you're probably the only one here who really gets it, huh? Ask the young people what that means. I'm still not quite sure.
We haven't done this one in a long time, so I'm going to play it through once before we start.
Okay, so play it through one time first. Different lyrics, so I'm sure it was a bit of a challenge to stay on these. And so now we have our time for all ages, and this is the 7 grandfathers. Many indigenous peoples teach that gratitude is at the center of life. And gratitude isn't just saying thank you, it's noticing the gifts around us and responding by living in balance and respect. And so today, in honor of Indigenous Peoples Month, I want to share an Anishinaabe story from the Potawatomi people. And the Anishinaabe name means first peoples. And within that group are the Potawatomi, which means the keepers of the fire. In the early years, the earth was hard on the people, and many died from diseases, and others just passed on from the tough lives they lived. And the 7 grandfathers were powerful spirits given the responsibility to watch over the people by the Creator. Seeing how hard it was for the people, the 7 grandfathers sent their helper, Squabobs, amongst the people to find one who could be taught how to live in harmony with the world. And 6 times Squabash searched amongst the people and found no one. But on his 7th trip, he found a newborn baby who was unaffected by the hardships of the world, who would be able to learn from the 7 grandfathers. Taking the boy from his parents' tent while they slept, Squabash left gifts of tobacco and a piece of his clothing to show them that he had not been taken by a wild animal and would one day return. When Squabash presented the baby to the 7 grandfathers, they said, "He is too young to hear our teachings or gaze upon us. To do so would be fatal for him. Take him out and show him the 4 quarters of the universe and then return. When he is stronger, he will learn." Squabash showed the boy many things across the 4 quarters of the universe. It took many years. So when they returned to the lodge of the 7 grandfathers, the boy was 7 years old. As they stood before the entrance, the boy realized that Squabash had been his uncle all along. Uncles help guide us in our journeys through life, and Squabash had done the same for the boy. The grandfathers told the boy of his parents and how they expected him to return one day and what he would teach the people when he returned. And then they pointed to a water jug painted for the 4 directions and colors of the people the Creator had made. North is white, west is black, red is south, and yellow is for the east, they told him. And then they each placed a gift in the water jug, sharing it just as one does in the people's ceremonies today. The first gift was wisdom, which would allow people to cherish the knowledge they attained. The second was love, because to know it was to know peace. Then to honor all of creation, they gave respect. Bravery in the face of the foe was next, then honesty to face a difficult situation with pride. Humility to know one's place in the expanse of the creation came next, while the gift of truth to know and understand all of those things came last. But remember, they warned the boy, for in the world each gift has an opposite. Like evil is the opposite of good. You must teach them carefully in the right way to use each gift. And Squabash took the boy and his water jug back to the people. But by this time, the boy was a fully grown man. In the spirit world, time does not pass, but the boy had been gone for many years. And when he entered his old village, an old couple stood in front of the rest of the crowd and recognized the man as their son. They had understood the gift of tobacco Squabash had left when he took the boy, and had always known he would return one day. And then the man taught the people about the gifts of the 7 grandfathers and how they had to be careful of their opposites. He also taught them that the physical world also had a twin in the spiritual world, and that a fit body was as necessary to harness one as a strong mind was to harness the other. Using the gifts and understanding of the directions painted on the water jug, the people began to adjust to life and its daily challenges. Diseases and accidents didn't claim as many lives because the people learned to live in the delicate balance that comes in living in harmony with the creation. So what I love about this story is it reminds us that gratitude nurtures us by helping us see the gifts in love, respect, bravery, truth, honesty, humility, and wisdom. And gratitude also asks us to respond by using those gifts to care for the earth, to treat each other kindly, and to live generously. Michelle's going to help me with our offering here in a moment. John Morgan wrote, "In the end, it won't matter how much we have, but how generously we have given. It won't matter how much we know, but rather how well we live. And it won't matter how much we believe, but how deeply we love. Therefore, let us demonstrate how deeply we love, how well we live, and how generously we can be here at UCO. Each week, we take up a financial collection that represents our commitment to generosity and to love and to life. And our offering is split, with half going to our monthly Share the Plate designee and half going to support the mission of UCO. And of course, our Share the Plate recipient this month is the Mid-South Food Bank. The Mid-South Food Bank provides assistance to those facing food insecurity every day. Across 31 counties, the Mid-South Food Bank is committed to delivering nutritious and wholesome food to local agencies and distribution sites. And they serve over 250,000 food insecure individuals a year. Their mission is to eliminate hunger in the region. And this is more timely than ever as people are missing out on so much and going hungry. So I pray that this mission be successful. And as the baskets go around, please remember to drop any notes of grief, gratitude, or growth, joys, or sorrows in those baskets as they go around. And now our morning offering will be gratefully received. Thank you, Michelle. By the work of our hands and the work of our hearts, our love is made real. As we acknowledge our gifts, may we be grateful for all that is given and grateful for all that is shared. And now let us enter into the ritual like the one before us, one that asks us to be vulnerable in our expressions and gracious in our witness, so that we may share what is on our hearts and lay it at the altar of community and spirit. Using a pebble dropped into the bowl of water to symbolize the ripple effects of the events of our lives upon the larger community, we will now share the grief, gratitude, and moments of growth that have touched our lives since we were last together. As always, our first pebble is one of gratitude for our visitors and friends. We offer a warm welcome to you, and we are so happy that you are here. And our second pebble is one of grief for those who are going hungry due to governmental shutdowns, corporate greed, and unlivable wages. From Helene, Mary Keha has been under observation at the hospital for a few days and coming back home today. She is due to be checked with the cardiologist midweek. Let's hope she will be on the healthy side. Our thoughts are with Mary. From Sufino and Marty, from a gratitude that they are thankful for our family's early Thanksgiving, for Marty, who spent this morning cleaning every glass surface from 4-year-old twins' fingerprints and their 7-year-old brothers, and for turkey soup that I will have today for lunch. That sounds good. From Carmen, a gratitude to UCO, from Faith Planters for its support. We had our giveaway yesterday and were able to help 40 families and 79 children. Thank you to all members who donated clothes or bought items from our Amazon wish list. Wonderful. And from Michelle Harvey, gratitude. I am so appreciative of all who have already stepped up to help with the UCO auction on December 14th, the Christmas parade for December 1st, and those who will fill in the gaps. Yes, many, many thanks. And finally, we drop a pebble into the water for all the grief, gratitude, and growth moments that remain held in the sanctuary of our hearts. These joys and sorrows, too, are held in this community of care and by a love that is limitless. Amen. Now, unfortunately, on our order of service, something accidentally got fallen off of it. So we have a meditation hymn that we are going to sing while seated. It is number 155, Circle Round for Freedom. And Dan is going to play his beautiful cello while we sing this. And here's how it's going to go. Tycho and I and any other brave souls who know it, we're going to sing it through one time so you can learn it. And then we will sing 3 times after that, accompanied by the cello. Okay, let me get the words pulled up real fast.
Are you gonna do the last bar as the intro then? Okay.
Oh, I can tell you, the line that you're seeing is the middle line. The top and the bottom lines are really so we're seeing. Sing.
Can you all hear me? Good, just checking this microphone. This is where I join the circle because it's important. Our first reading is from Oren J. Sofer, Your Heart Was Made for This. Your heart was made for love, for connection, for belonging, and meaningful relationship with other people's beings and the earth. Your heart was made to give and receive, to know joy, purpose, and freedom. All of this is possible for you and for each of us. Yet painful emotions, ignorance, and oppressive conditions disconnect us from our heart's potential. The flow of this love has encountered obstacles from the beginning, but perhaps never more so than now. Our ancestors' village was not the global village of the 21st century with its seemingly infinite complexities and pressures, nor did we evolve to engage with social media algorithms or constant alerts of tragedy. How do we reclaim our birthright to love while navigating a complex world in crisis? How do we make love our guide? And our second reading is a prophecy from the Hopi elders spoken at O'Reilly, Arizona in the year 2000. There is a river flowing now very fast. It is so great and swift that there are those who will be afraid. They will try to hold on to the shore. They will feel they are torn apart and will suffer greatly. No, the river has its destination. The elders say we must let go of the shore, push off into the middle of the river, keep our eyes open and our heads above water. And I say, see who is there with you and celebrate. At this time in history, we are to take nothing personally, least of all ourselves. For the moment we do, our spiritual growth and journey comes to a halt. The time for the lone wolf is over. Gather yourselves, banish the word struggle from your attitude and your vocabulary. All that we do now must be done in a sacred manner and in celebration. We are the ones we have been waiting for. Hey, you guys. You may be wondering why Reverend Sarah has us sitting in a circle. I kind of told you, but I'm going to tell you again. This is so different than sitting in rows all facing forward. Power dynamics being altered. How does it feel when I'm sitting here amongst everyone? I was having a conversation with a friend of mine who was like, that stole is a symbol of power. I'm like, that stole is a symbol of responsibility. I was inspired to this formation by Elder Sharon Jinkerson Brass, an Anishinaabe artist, healer, and speaker, who is the elder in residence for the Canadian Unitarian Council and was the featured speaker and ritualist for the Liberal Religious Educators Association, also called LREDA, their continental convention that took place in Vancouver, BC, which is why I wasn't here last time that I normally would be here. We met in the sanctuary of Vancouver Unitarians, and she, Elder Sharon, asked, can the space be put into a circle? I'd like to be able to see everyone's faces, for us to look into each other's eyes. And it was important to her as a First Nations member that everyone be seated on equal level. She referred to all of us as her relatives and told us how good it was to be with each of us. All my relatives. And I understood in that moment that sometimes what we do, how we orient the space, how we relate to one another can be one of the most profound actions we can do in our effort to shift our colonial mindset culture to something more generative, healing, and hold. And maybe a little bit uncomfortable if you have to look at the person next to you or across from you, but that's okay. We'll breathe through it together. The Hopi prophecy, our second reading, proclaimed that the time for the lone wolf is over, and this message was delivered, can you believe it, 25 years ago? Yes, the year 2000 was that long ago. Time is weird. And if we're paying attention to the lessons from those more connected to the earth, we must continuously learn that we are all in this interrelated circle, and we need each other to thrive. Occasionally, the mainstream culture understands this. We can see this demonstrated in various movies and TV shows, like the pop culture masterpiece, The Goonies. Have you seen this movie? Raise your hand if you've seen it. Is there anybody who hasn't seen this? Oh, please go home and watch it on some streaming service. This 1985 film defined a subset of Generation X. Those of us, including me, who ran in packs of friends, biking across town, no parents to be found, slightly feral. That is me. We were a generation that was raising and saving ourselves to a large degree. And the Goonies tells the story of a group of kids from the Pacific Northwest who were going to lose their homes, their community to corporate greed, unless they found some way to raise money to buy back their mortgages from a country club looking to expand. The parents had given up, but not the kids. The Goonies, whose rallying cry is, "Goonies never say die." In my intro to this piece with, "Hey, you guys." It's from the movie too. The Goonies were led by 13-year-old Mikey, performed by a young Sean Astin, who also we know is the brilliant Samwise from Lord of the Rings. We sense a theme here, right? Circle of friends saving the world. Good man. In a fantastical adventure, the kids find and follow a literal treasure map running from gangsters and navigating around booby traps and riddles to solve, all in the quest to find treasure that might just save their homes and their community. And spoiler, if you haven't seen this in the 40 years it's been out, because it's the 40th anniversary, the spoiler is they succeed. The Goonies is a guide for surviving hard times. And much like the wisdom from Indigenous elders, the Goonies know that they need each other to make it. Another life lesson from the movie includes the call to risk-taking and courage. When the gang is tired and they feel like giving up, taking the easy way out, they found a wishing well with a bucket that would have pulled them right up out of the ground because they were under the ground in some dark, cavernous trails. But Mikey, he gives an inspired speech telling his friends, it's our time. It's our time down here. And his encouragement works. And they all decide, the group of friends, they decide to continue on the path together, even though it was hard and scary and uncertain. A modern day Goonie, if you will, might be New York City's newly first Muslim elected mayor, who wrote this right before the election. This morning, our city plunges into darkness, and I set off to walk the Brooklyn Bridge towards City Hall in Manhattan. Just like this campaign when we launched in October over a year ago, I began with only a few people by my side. But the banner we carried told a story that we have always known to be true, even when we were polling at 1%. Our time is now. And as the first signs of light began to emerge over the horizon, more and more people joined us, canvassers, labor leaders, working people, and elected officials, until we were a movement marching towards City Hall. New York deserves a mayor up late and up early who works as hard as the people of this city. It deserves a city hall that's not only be a beacon of light once the sun has risen and illuminated from the exterior, but which makes government a light of its own, that people across this city feel at all hours of this day. And I cannot do it alone. Election day looms. More than 735,000 New Yorkers have already voted, and countless more will decide tomorrow what kind of leadership they want to define the next 4 years. And every voter will consider something different. But ultimately, the question before us is all very simple. Morning versus night. Do we want it to be morning in New York again when we feel the warmth of the sun on our skin and the possibility inherent to every new day? Or do we want to shiver in the night cast by a politics of fear and self-enrichment? Our time has come, New York. Our time is now. I really wanted to be a New Yorker the day after. Mom Donnie's message reminds us that we are the ones we have been waiting for, and it takes courage to put ourselves out there proclaiming a better way to be in community. My colleague, Reverend Marisol Caballero, writes, courage requires taking great risks while stepping into the unknown. It takes no courage to shut one's mouth, step aside, and listen when needed. The only thing at risk here is one's ego, a self-identity built around the myth of superiority. Courage does not ask us to stop trembling. It asks us to find ways to incorporate our trembles into our dance. The Goonies do a risk-taking dance, weaving their individual gifts along the journey, humor, clarity, beauty, creativity, problem solving, and compassion to find their way to a treasure-filled pirate ship. But why go to all this effort when they could simply just relocate? I mean, their parents were planning just to move them somewhere, not sure where. And they all had potentially good options, moving to another town. But the Goonies knew that this community was important. Their sense of belonging was a paramount concern to them for their survival. And when isolationism and othering are on the rise in our communities, it's a radical mission to stay focused on developing, restoring, and reconciling community. We must let go of the shores of isolation and independence that we are clinging to so we can build our capacity of care, to find wholeness in belonging. And as a people, the dominant culture of colonialism and patriarchy have scattered and unbalanced us. And so we need to come together to reclaim our time. And we need to nurture the gifts we each have to give to one another, engage in practices of accountability and joy and gratitude. For I believe we long to commit to a circle of beloved community bound for freedom. Got to let go of the shore and swim into the stream of the unknown. Because those interested in power over, not power with, those power over people, they will engage in efforts to make us feel small, unempowered, fighting with each other and allowing the negative sides of our gifts to flourish and keep us sick, like the 7 grandfathers warned us in our story. We restore balance and hope when we build beloved community. So how do we do this? How do we engage in relational revolution and restoration? Author Peter Block, in his book, Community, The Structure of Belonging, says, we do this by sitting in circle, learning to trust each other and deciding how to make a better place. If we are going to put our Unitarian Universalist values in place, if we're going to be Goonies, let's all sit together. Let's figure out who's missing from this circle. Let's find our ways and practices of discovering our possibilities and our accountability. That's real important. Reverend Bill Sinkford writes in Not for Ourselves Alone, we are called by and towards a vision of beloved community. But we are also called out of and from our own experiences. We can ask how we can use our own experience of being pressed down, and we all have them, to cultivate a capacity for empathy and tolerance for the messy and sometimes painful practice of solidarity. How can we use our own experiences as tools and not simply relegate them to the categories of troubles we have overcome. As much as we are called to help heal the wounded world, we are also called to find some meaning and peace in our own lives. Our spirits long to be made whole. And so I believe we are at a crossroads. We are experiencing unprecedented loneliness, sickness, divisiveness, poverty of all kinds. We could easily give up and just focus on our individual lives to survive. But friends, that never really works, except for maybe the ultra rich, perhaps. At the crossroads where our choices are to survive, give up, jump into the center of the stream and be made whole, perhaps we need to ask ourselves, what are the possibilities we can dream so that we can make our best choices for the journey? What declaration of possibility can you make that has the power to transform the community and inspire you? Our Goonies had a simple plan: find the treasure, save their homes. What's our plan? What do we aspire to become? Aspire comes from the Latin root spirare. Did I say that right? Which means to breathe. Aspire means to breathe. So what and how can we breathe life into this community so that we may thrive? What can we breathe life into? What are your gifts that you bring to this circle? Perhaps a better starting point for this query that will help us navigate the treasure hunt of beloved community might be, what are you grateful for? I'm sure lots of you are contemplating this question since we are so close to Thanksgiving. It's unescapable, honestly. But when so much is going wrong, it might seem impossible to feel gratitude. Oren J. Sofer says this about gratitude: it nurtures presence, creates energy, and opens the heart. Yes, this is the potential of gratitude. This is what will sustain us in our adventure. Sofer writes, gratitude also counteracts our negativity bias, the pervasive habit of noticing what's missing, what's gone wrong, what could be better. A mindset of gratitude opens the door to contentment and feeds generosity. Gratitude supports social change, urging us to respond to social hardships, and gratitude flows into celebration, which we need to sustain us on the long road to freedom. Gratitude. I'm grateful to Elder Sharon, who inspired me to circle around today, to engage in practices to strengthen our community, and to be present and in the flow of the river of life. I am grateful for stories of friendship, like the Goonies, who encouraged me to risk-taking and dreaming of making possibilities real. Friends, it's our time. It's our time to claim our gifts, to celebrate together, to be one with each other and the land. And so be it. And now we're going to go a little deeper for a moment of reflection and meditation, a little activation. Gratitude helps us keep our balance in difficult situations, and it calms our frantic minds and supports us to stay attentive to the possibility. And so now I invite you to settle the mind and body in a still, comfortable position. If you need to wiggle for a minute, get situated, if you will. If it feels good to take a deep breath, let that oxygenate your blood. Let's do that now. Rest quietly with the sensations of breathing or any other grounding experience. Your hands in your lap, the weight of your body, the sounds around you. Soften your gaze or close your eyes. Now turn your attention to gratitude. Recollect a specific moment, person, event, or condition for which you feel grateful. A kind remark, a generous act, a fortunate circumstance, a moment of beauty, or a favorite movie that brought you joy. Who or what loved you up? Allow the event, person, or condition for which you feel grateful to come to mind as clearly as possible. And linger with any pleasant feelings or sensations of gratitude that occur. You might feel a sense of warmth or openness in your heart, a subtle lightness or an overall pleasant quality. And notice where you feel this in your body or heart. And we'll stay here for just a moment. And now, let us strike a balance. Return to this space and focus. Open your eyes. And take a moment to look into the eyes of those in this circle. And let love and that feeling of gratitude shine through you. Really do look, everybody. It may feel a little uncomfortable after a minute. Y'all are beautiful. By noticing all that we have received, let us now consider what we may each give. Since this is our time, we hold the potential to bless each other and this world. And the 7 grandfathers, they gave their people the gifts of love, respect, bravery, truth, honesty, humility, and wisdom. What else might you add to that jug of life? So we're going to engage in a little practice here. I'm going to pass along a bowl of beads, and I'm going to ask you to pick one out and hold it in your hand and infuse it with your gratitude, perhaps even your grief, because we hold grief and gratitude often in equal measure. And then I want you to infuse that bead infuse it with your longing and the promise of the gifts that you offer this community and our world. And then I'm going to pass around the jug so that you may add your gift to the jug of life to represent our love, our grief, our hope, our gratitude, and our commitment to transforming ourselves, this community, and this world. Because this jug, held in this beloved community, can hold it all. And we're going to sing while we do it. We're going to sing our meditation hymn. So if you feel like you don't know the words, you might flip open to page 155. And if we kind of bumble along, that's okay too. So the beads are going to come around first. Take one, hold it in your hand. Once it's come around, then the jug will come around and we'll just sing till we're done. Okay? Circle round for freedom. Circle round for peace. For all to us in reason. Circle for release. Circle for the planet. Circle for each soul. For the children of our children. Keep the circle whole. Circle round for freedom. Circle round for peace. For all of us in prison. Circle for release. Circle for the planet. Circle for each soul. For the children of our children. Keep the circle whole. Circle round for freedom. Circle round for peace. For all of us in prison. Circle for release. Circle for the planet. Circle for each soul. For the children of our children. Keep the circle whole. Circle round for freedom. Circle round for peace. For all of us in prison. Circle for release. Circle round the planet. Circle for each soul. For the children of our children. Keep the circle whole. Circle round for freedom. Circle round for peace. For all of us in prison. Circle for release. Circle for the planet. Circle for each soul. For the children of our children. Keep the circle whole. For freedom, for peace, for release. For our planet, for each soul. For the children of our children, may we keep our circle whole. May it be so. We release the chalice flame and conclude our time in this holy space. May you feel nourished and renewed. May you notice what is quietly good. May you give thanks with your whole body, not as performance, but as deep practice, a way of staying rooted in the sacred, even when the winds peak up and swirl around you. Amen and blessed be. We have a closing hymn, number 318, We Would Be One. Please rise in body or spirit. 318.
The last couple bars, as you know, and then there's just two verses.
And now, because we're already in a circle, if you feel so inclined, let's hold hands and offer our community blessing, the peace words, which I can never get right, so somebody else lead them. Go in peace, believe in peace, great peace, be peace. Blessed, blessed be you all. And happy Thanksgiving to those who celebrate.
And if you'd like to have a few minutes to help on the parade, get some coffee.
Visit it, and then we'll just be in the back room.